everyone, it's Katie with One Music School, and today we're going to talk about resolutions and how to keep them. I know around this time of year people make goals and they make resolutions in order to improve their life, and also a lot of people make goals and resolutions to improve themselves musically. So I want to give you some tips and tricks how to set some realistic goals and also how to achieve those goals. Now for me personally, I don't make resolutions, and it's kind of weird I'm making a video on making resolutions when I don't really make resolutions around New Year's, because I feel like there's no better time to start than right at that moment. So I'm not the kind of person that is going to wait. I'm the kind of person that is going to make a goal. I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to take the necessary steps or try to think about the necessary steps in order to complete that goal. Because I know myself. If I don't start now, I will never do it. Number 1, make your goal specific but also realistic. So for example, if you have the goal of just becoming a better guitar player or a better ukulele player or just an overall better musician, that's great, but that goal is just so vast that it might be really difficult to take the necessary steps in order to become a better musician. Well, there are many steps that you could take in order to become a better musician. So focus on 1 or 2 things that you would like to improve. So for example, this year I want to master the B minor bar chord, because if you master 1 bar chord, it's going to open up the floodgates of all of your bar chords and it's going to make them easier. Here I've made a list of resolution ideas, just in case you're struggling to find one. Number 2, write down your goal. So for me personally, writing down my goals is a very daily thing, sometimes an hourly thing, because I like to-do lists. I like to know what I have to do, write it out. It's no longer spinning through my head. It's there on paper, and then I can cross it off when it's done. That's one of my favorite things to do. To help you get started, I've made a goal-setting sheet for you that maps everything out in 3 simple steps. We have the what, the how, and the when. So number 1 is, what is your goal? The example is, I want to master the B minor bar chord. 2 is to make a plan. So how are you going to achieve your goal? And so for example, I will practice songs that contain the B minor bar chord 3 days a week for 20 minutes. Now 3 is the when, because you really have to know and plan out when you are going to achieve your goal. Write it down on a calendar and then hold yourself accountable. So I have an hourly calendar that you could map out your entire day. Now it starts at 8 a.m. My day starts a lot earlier than that and goes later than 6 p.m., but you can adjust the calendar as you wish. Fill in the calendar with the current things that you are obligated to do. Then notice the pockets of free time that you have. Use this form and repeat the process to try to achieve any goal that you would like to, and as many as you'd like. Number 3, accountability. Now there are many different ways that you can hold yourself accountable. 1, you can find a buddy to play along with you or to help you keep you accountable for your progress. They don't necessarily have to be a musician. Or you could start an Instagram account and you could play a specific part of a song that you're working on, and every single month upload another video, and you can monitor your progress that way. Other ways that you could keep yourself accountable is just keep a journal. Write down, how did you do that week with your practice time? How are you doing with a specific song? Were you successful in some areas? In what areas were you not successful, and how can you improve that? Another way that you can keep yourself accountable is that you could practice for a specific event. So if you are part of a music studio, you could start practicing for a recital performance. If you are not a part of a music studio, you could practice to make a video on Instagram, on your Facebook, or you could have the goal of playing at a coffee shop. The next piece of advice that I have for you is to start small and then gradually increase your goal. So for example, to set an unrealistic goal is to say, okay, I'm going to practice for an hour, 7 days a week. That's very ambitious, and if you can do that, let me know in the comment section below how you've done that and if you've made that happen. That would be really awesome. But for me, I know personally that is not a realistic goal. So, for example, I am going to say I am going to practice 3 days a week, 10 minutes at a time. That's it. And then what you can do is you can start increasing smaller and smaller increments. So 3 days a week, 15 minutes at a time. Then you can start 4 days a week, 15 minutes at a time. 4 days a week, 20 minutes at a time. And so if that is your goal, from 4 to 5 days a week to practice for 20 minutes, that's a great goal, because studies show that according to brain research, it is better for the brain to retain information and to learn something new when you're able to do something at smaller increments at a time, but over a long period of time. Now, the last piece of advice that I have for you is to not beat yourself up if you do not reach your goal. This is very, very difficult for a lot of people, especially for me, because I am such a goal-oriented person, and if I don't complete my to-do list for the day, I feel like, oh no, I just wasted a bunch of time. But try not to go there, because it can actually harm you more than it can help you. Just try to put one foot in front of the other and do better the next day, the next minute, the next hour. Allow yourself some grace, because we're not perfect people. We want to improve, but we're never going to reach that kind of perfection that maybe we have set in our own minds. Now, if you do find yourself in a situation where you have fallen off the wagon, you are not being consistent, you are not taking the steps necessary in order to reach your goal, it's okay. Don't worry about those types of things. Just remember that it's never too late to take the necessary steps to put one foot in front of the other in order to reach your goal. So I hope that helped you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and Happy New Year. I love you. Mwah.